Welcome to Driving Immersion. This is the immersive racing experience. Studio 397's Le Mans Ultimate is the best detailed simulation of the World Endurance Championship. We are racing in Le Mans Ultimate using as much of its simulation factors to be as close to the endurance racing as possible. We drive from the cockpit using a Fanatec CSL DD Plus wheel and load cell pedal set, without any assists except for what exists in the car. There are collisions and damage, tire wear and fuel use, including virtual energy. Give us a like and click on subscribe now so that you don't miss out on any of it. Volume up and let's go. We rejoin the race from the pits at the Bapco Energies 8 Hours of Bahrain in the Puegeot 9X8.
Air out, 1.5 pounds of air in the front, and hopefully that will get them some stick. Let's see here, we are going to refuel. We have 1.5 gallons of extra fuel, but down to 1% of virtual energy. Aero, we're going to stay the same. Radiator cover. Nope. Just going to go to 1. And I wish we could change the brake duct settings. Oh, body repair, 25 seconds. So there is damage. Alright. So right now, as we are in the pit lane, we had passed the other cars while they had been stopped, so we are showing in second place. And that is going to change as the other cars are leaving the pits, and we leave as well. "22 seconds out of 82. There is the BMW. Dries Vanthoor. The Ferrari just went by. The other BMW. Oh, that's the Alpine. There's the Toyota. Sebastian Buemi, the number 8. I believe the number 7 is out. "20 seconds left. Kevin Estra in the Porsche, also in the pits. Somebody's pulling out right now. 7 seconds to go.
Down on the ground, and we are ready to go. Again, this is the 5th segment, 5th hour of the race of this 8 Hours of
We meet the
Bahrain.
Proton Porsche out of the pits. Tires are cold.
Back on track, we rejoin the race in 4th place.
Somebody there in the apron.
Didn't quite see who was there. There's a spin there by the
Couple of cars.
Aston Martin. A car going off to the left onto the
believe-
apron. And
Yeah,
then there
that was
is
a Toyota. Also off on the apron.
hypercar on the right just before turn 8 here. And this is the Alpine under yellow conditions. And right now we're going to be able to pass him for some reason without penalty.
It is a yellow, but nothing's been enforcing us to not pass.
There's another spin. I believe that is the
Off.
BMW.
Is nobody racing?
So for some reason, a lot of spin outs here. And
This
it's
is
very
weird.
possible that everybody might have stretched out their stint a little too long. And right now we are in second place with 4 hours and 10 minutes left to go in the race.
So there should be some major temperature change. I don't see how the other cars would have such a problem with it.
Yes, for some reason right now we are passing a lot of cars for some reason. We did come out of the pits in 4th place, so just 3 cars, but a lot of cars had spun out
Right now we are in
on our
first
outlap.
place.
And I believe that was the Alpine that was ahead of us. in the race when we came out.
Tires
He
are
is in the pits
immediately
right
up
now.
task.
Behind us, the number 36 Alpine. So are both Alpines still on track or racing? Down onto turn 9 and turn 10 again here. Very tight left-hander. Drag strip on your right and over the wall here at Bahrain. Turn 11 here to the left, and it's going to let us slide all the way out to the right on the apron. Turn 12 here to the right, a very long right-hander, and it is going to push us all the way out to the left here onto the apron. Turn 13 again to the right, and we are on a very short straight all the way onto turn 14. So we got to see there by the timing that there are a lot of cars in the pits. And that allowed us to lap a number of the hypercars very well into first place here with 1 minute and 44 seconds ahead of the 11th place BMW, as you see there on timing. Into turn 4. Very short run into 5 and 6. And turn 7 as we creep up onto the GT3.
Somebody off into the wall to the right.
So there is a car pulled all the way up to the wall onto the right before turn 8. Yellows are showing before then.
One of the Jones Cadillacs here. That is Earl Bamber.
Now earlier in the race, Earl Bamber was actually racing with us. Right now he is quite a ways behind. You can see in the timing he is in 13th place. And 2 minutes behind.
We are not racing with him, and in fact he should be getting the blue flag.
He did have a number of spins as we did at the start of the race. And he does have a very fast car here. So it may be just bad fortune that has brought him to 13th place.
There is the blue light, blue light box flashing. Too deep.
So the standings show that the number 36 Alpine is now in second place. The number 99 Porsche, the white and bright green car, third place. So right now into the 5th hour or 5th stint of the race, we did come out and we made up a lot of places on the track as a result of a lot of cars spinning out for some reason or another. And it was the end of the stint for most of the teams. But we are currently comfortable in first place. It's very possible that the pit strategies are going to change our fortune here and bring the other cars back, but right now we are quite a ways ahead. The number 36 Alpine is just 25 seconds behind, not too far away. Then the third place Porsche, 31 seconds behind. So it won't take much to bring the race back to those two cars. Kevin Estra in the number 6 Porsche, also not too far away. And here we are crossing the start-finish line, racing with the Jota Cadillac, as we have put a lap on him in the number 93. And you can see on the side of the vehicle in red that we are currently in first place. A new addition for the 25 season is that spectators can see what place the car is in.
Driving so much better with less air.
On the side of the car. Still a yellow, and there is still a car there on to the right, facing the wall.
Can't tell what kind of car that is into the wall.
It is easy to see that it's a red car, but other than that, no way of knowing. The BMWs are actually red on the rear quarters, so it could be one of them. And even this Cadillac right behind us has a lot of red that could be easily mistaken for a red car. So we continue on, and you can see here now that Neil Jani in the 99 Porsche is up to second place. And I believe the Alpine number 35 may have pitted, and that is why he fell back so far right now. The number 36 still in third place. Back to the number 93 as we come down to turn 1. A panoramic view of turn 1 here at Bahrain. That is the Lexus GT3. Very far off in the distance, you can see the main grandstands. Turn 8 once again, up the hill into turn 9, and then braking very hard and keeping it steady into turn 10. We're going to trail brake all the way here to this white line and gradually apply the throttle.
Just up ahead, they were having such a fast race earlier.
There's a big spin.
The Aston Martin.
So the Aston Martin just spun. I believe that is the 009. The 007 may be out of the race. I believe that is one of the cars that are out of the race early on here. We looked inside of the Lexus and decided against it.
Might be their Ferrari into the wall.
braking again. Our rear brakes glowing with red. Unfortunately, we can't see that from the inside of the car, but we can look at the brake temperatures. You can see the front brakes are red, but they're not glowing as much as the rears. So they are cooling faster than the rears, and that is why we were interested in changing the brake ducts, hopefully to let the rear brakes cool faster and the front brakes cool slower. There is an optimum temperature at which they operate. I believe it may be about 600 or 750 degrees. Now, when you apply the brakes, they do jump up in temperature, but at 600 to 700 is where you want to start when you're applying the brakes. And then you want them to quickly cool back down to about 600 degrees after you exit the turn. Ready again for another braking zone. So coming in through turn 4, that is a BMW up there, and it looks from very far away to be a very red car and can be mistaken for one of the Ferraris. And as we approach turn 6 and 7, once again, that car is still into the wall. It looks like a Ferrari for the most part. You can see the BMW here while there's a lot of red on it. The front end is white, so it's possibly a Ferrari that is into the wall. Nevertheless, more than halfway into the race, there are still a lot of cars in the field, which is a very good and positive sign. We come up to the GT3 Mercedes, a new GT3 here for 2025. So that is Vanderlyn in the BMW just in front. He is in 11th place.
Not a good exit here.
Time 1:52.37.
If you have watched our Formula One series, you would be accustomed to activating the DRS there on the main straight.
152.3.
Unfortunately, here in the Endurance Championship, there are no DRS. No way to change the rear wing. Very quick look inside the BMW. That's 6 and 7. Little nudge there from behind, and he is going to lose it. With a lot of weight on his front tires, the back wheels come around just a little bit, and that may have been due to a little push there by the number 93. Still on track and racing, so that's good for him.
We knew we were going to overdo that.
Yes, very wide into 14 and 15.
Time 1:54.3.
And that just allows the BMW to catch right back up. Again, he is a lapped car at this point, so we are not racing with him. However, he is fast, and he is still a car on the track that we have to race with. And And now that he is behind, he doesn't have to respond to any blue flags, as there are no blue flags for him. And if he was smart, he could stay behind in number 93 here and possibly move up in the field. So just up ahead, we saw flash out of the screen is the other BMW, and this one with the pink grille. There he is, coming in at turn 10. Very wide.
Really cut off there. Bit of a brake check.
Always tempting to see how deep you can brake into turn 10. There is just a little bit of a runoff and apron there on the right, but it's definitely going to slow you down for the exit. Turn 12 here again to the right. GT3 in the way. Now, we are in the lead, so we're not racing with any of these cars that we're passing. In fact, we are putting a lap down on these cars that we're passing. You can see here the BMW took off very quickly out of 13, going through 14 and 15 now, just trying to keep himself from being lapped. Again, there was a very big shakeup in the field at the beginning of the stint. A lot of cars spinning for some reason, and a lot of cars going into the pits. And that is how the number 93 got into the lead. It could very well happen again, and we could find ourselves further back into the field if we are on the wrong shake of the dice. Very good racing here by the AI. You can see the BMW holding his line. In fact, he will come in and perhaps close the inside on some of the turns.
The rear body panels are wrinkled on that BMW.
Yes, very quickly we got to see that the rear panels were wrinkled on the BMW, so it's possible that he is driving around with a lot of damage. The cars usually don't get that wrinkled. And that may be why he's got reduced speed and is falling back. Big hit there into turn 11 from the BMW. Don't know
Damage
why.
in the rear.
So the HUD is showing now that there is damage on the rear of the vehicle. It is actually displayed in orange, so that is major damage. Not quite red, but pretty substantial damage.
Well, it's not the wing.
When the HUD shows up again, the graphics will show there is a different part for the wing, so the damage did not occur to the wing, otherwise we would be spinning right now. These cars undrivable without a rear wing. Even this Puegeot, which started its return into the World Endurance Championship without a rear wing.
Right now we are 50 seconds ahead of P2.
Actually raced for 2 seasons without a rear wing, and the third season they put the wing back on the car.
But not enough to throw it away at the pits.
Yeah, so mathematically, the laps here are about 1:53 or 1:54, 1 minute and 54 seconds. So if you do come into the pits and you spend that much time in the pits, it's very possible that you could be lapped, and you'd have to make all that back, obviously. In and out of turn 10, that is the Corvette just in front. Quickly enough to get out of the way. The BMW chasing us down once again at turn 11. And this time we are not going to brake so slow and let him creep up. very slow run through turn 1 for the number 93. It is a very slow corner to begin with. But if you get it wrong, you will get turn 2 all wrong, and you'll definitely not get a lot of speed out of turn 3. There is 5 and 6 and 7 as we go by the GT3 Ferrari, braking very hard, going downhill once again into turn 8. A little bit better control here. We have been slowly moving up our brake bias to the front. And there is the distance we put on the BMW within the last couple of laps.
Too much lock on the rear diff. Fortunately, we cannot change it or adjust it.
Lap 154.08.
So just a little bit of a slow lap there on that last time around, the 154 instead of the 153. We have been able to strike a few 152s in the race so far. Turn 4 activated and done carefully. Timing now to Neil Johnny, the car in second place, 1 minute behind. He had been as little as 29 seconds earlier in the stint, but now he has lost about 30 seconds just in the stint. Again, very possible if you spin or if you get caught behind traffic. There are still a number of GT3s here. And there are a few of the hypercars that are actually running slow, so if he is in second place and going fast, it's very possible he could be slowed down in traffic. 1 of 5 behind now, and you can see the number 6 of Kevin Estra right close to him. So there is a race for second place between the second and third car, the 99 and the number 6. Won't get to see them in this shot as they are just about a minute behind. They should be, as we are looking at the map, coming through the exit of 14 and 15, as we are already into turn 7 here in the number 93. And that is basically the distance to second place. Up to the Corvette again, maybe a little nudge there coming out of 8. Manage our way around the Lexus. Turn 10 properly done there by the number 93. in through 14 and 15. No hypercars in sight for the number 93 here in first place.
That time was a 1:54.01.
Mars Medina now driving a conservative race, keeping the car on the track and lapping comfortably in the lead for the moment. Again, it's still very possible for the other cars to catch up depending on the shakeout of any pit stops. I think one of the things that we'd like to be implemented here
Gonna
is
increase the real sway bar a little bit. See what it can do.
so we'd like to see the yellows activated here, the temporary yellows that will actually slow the car down automatically through the yellow sections on the track. So we get a word there from the driver that we are adjusting our brake bias and our anti-roll bars just to get more grip out of the tires front and rear, more braking ability. If we make the front track a little bit softer, that will allow us to transfer more weight to the front tires without overburdening them and having them lock up. It means less wear and less locking up. Actually, a little bit stronger of braking ability if you soften up the front. Now, the drawback to that is the car, it will eventually get very slushy and understeer and not like to turn. So you can only go so far with softening the front anti-roll bars. And softening the rear anti-roll bars will actually allow you to accelerate just a little bit harder. But on the very tight turns like this, it just won't push the tires down enough to maintain grip. So you'll find that under heavy braking and turning, if the rear anti-roll bars are too soft, you'll see that the car will oversteer, or you'll see the back end come around. So just like the fronts, there's only so far you can go before the car just will not behave. And we are looking at the race here for second and third. Again, Neil Jani in the white Porsche, and then the number 6 of Kevin Estra in the red Penske Porsche just behind. This is the closest race right now at Bahrain. I believe they are within a half a second of each other, according to the timing. Crossing the start-finish line once again. And the timing there on the leaderboard is something that needs to be fixed here in Le Mans Ultimate. The race should have a time, whether it's elapsed time, or the time remaining. The section that we are watching here is actually a replay section, and the timing is not live. It does show the timing between the cars. As you can see, the first place, number 93, is 1 minute and 12 seconds ahead of these two in second and third place.
Tires aren't doing well. Oh, a little too deep there.
Spoke too soon and very deep into turn 1 for the number 93. That is again the number 77 Mustang that won our GT3 24 Hours of Le Mans. And you can see that here on this channel. On the playlist, we actually have 24 hours of racing at Le Mans available for your viewing at any time. that, if you're enjoying the race, don't forget to give us a like and click on subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. It really helps our channel out. Back on board with the number 93. Again,
Still
currently
going
running
at
in
a
first
decent
place.
pace. 153.
Now the HUD on the lower left shows us Neil Johnny's last lap, a 156. So we made some time on him on our last lap. That one a 153.2. Very wide into turn 1. That does waste a lot of time. Very important to exit out of turn 3 here. Still showing a yellow for that car there into the wall. I believe that is one of the Ferraris. Happened very early on into the stint. It would be at least 8 to 12 laps behind now at this point.
That is way up there in the number 8 Toyota. And we are coming up to possibly pass him. We do still have about 10 laps left in this stint.
Time was a 152.92.
So a very good lap there, a 152. And that is definitely going to slow down turn 1. A Ferrari 296 right in the turn, and we're going to have to make our way around out of turn 3. Yes, that is one of the Ferraris just up ahead. Back to 2 and 3, very close now between the Porsche of Kevin Estra, and now he's gotten around the Porsche of Neil Johnny. I think Neil Johnny's slowing down, maybe his tires are wearing out, or he may be trying to conserve fuel at this point in the stint.
There's a Ferrari.
So on board with the number 93, that is the Toyota that we just got around, coming into turn 9. And we are looking to see which Ferrari this is. And that is going to help us determine who is in the wall before turn 8. Again, we do believe that is a Ferrari. There is a Jota Cadillac just ahead of him here.
Yeah, both of these cars are getting the blue flag.
Oh, perhaps a little touch there between the Porsche and the Cadillac.
You can see the
Coming
blue lights
into
flashing there on the light box.
13.
High up on the fence.
Yes, that blue light is for both of these
Oh,
cars
brake check
to
there from the
get
Ferrari.
away or get out of the way of the number 93 here.
Hip
A
check
bump
from the
there from the
Toyota.
Toyota.
That time was a 154.96.
And you can see the Toyota in our rear view mirror there. All cars still very fast, but again, an unfortunate turn at the very beginning of the stint allowed us to comfortably sit in first place now. Yellow
Soften
flag
up our
coming
rear.
into 4.
Anti-roll bar.
McLaren spun around. That is going to slow the field. I believe that is the number 50 Ferrari. Yes, it is. So it may be the 51 that is into the wall. And we may be able to see him here to the left of the screen. Nope, couldn't see him. So the Ferrari and the Cadillac here are actually racing with each other. A little further back into the field. And they are in fourth and fifth place.
Somehow
Second.
we put 30 seconds roughly on Neil Jani.
Now we didn't get to see Neil Jani, but it's very possible that he may have had a spin. 30 seconds is quite a lot to be caught behind traffic here this far into the race. With the field still very stretched out.
Time 1:54.44.
Braking much earlier now into turn 1 just to be able to control the car. Again, the exit out of 2 and 3 are more important than the time you save slowing down into turn 1. Yes, I believe in that shot we can confirm that that was a Ferrari. There was a yellow stripe above the red, and that will be the number 51, as the 50 just got passed a little while ago, so he's still on track. And for some reason that car is still qualified as being in the race, although he is very far behind. If he was disqualified for not being able to go anymore, the car would have been removed and no longer in classification. Back on board with the number 93 of Mars Medina in the Puegeot 9X8. Short shifting through 14 and 15 just to be able to maintain traction as we accelerate very hard onto this long straight down the start-finish line. Braking very hard again into turn 1. We are coming up onto a couple of back markers. That is one of the BMWs in the GT3 class. The BMW is making a resurgence to come back into WEC.
There's Robert Kubica. He was leading very far to the front earlier. Maybe a couple of unfortunate pit stops.
Yes, that yellow Ferrari up ahead was about a lap and a half ahead of the rest of the field very early into the race. And now we are just about to lap him. Again, couldn't have been due to a couple of very long pit stops, possible to as a result of perhaps some damage. Unfortunately, there's no way to know.
Whoa, don't know why, there was just not enough brake.
93 catching up to the yellow 83 Ferrari in short steps here, coming in through turn 8. There's definitely still a lot of room that we can move the difficulty level up here to be able to race with the competition and AI. The only thing holding us back is that we don't know for sure until we are into the middle of the race if our setup is good enough for a endurance race to race that many laps. Very hard to tell with just a few practice and qualifying laps. See how we're going to do. You can see the other cars qualify very well, but very early into the race, the race speed is not as good. And you can see that we are in first place with the last place qualifier. So perhaps a little bit more tweaking here by Studio 397 into the AI, but not very far off. And certainly not enough that I would complain to have it torn down and restarted. And that is the ability of the AI. So very good and quite satisfactory here. I think we can turn up the difficulty level to have a lot closer racing, but there's also a lot of fortune and misfortune here that is the cause and the reason why we are currently in first place by quite some time, almost a lap.
Getting very good consistent laps here.
Little touch there by the Aston Martin. Yellow flag still showing in this section for the Ferrari. Very deep into turn 8. Here is our complaint in the modeling of this Puegeot 9X8. The LED indicator lights there on the dash just before the bottom of the windshield. Those are not bright enough. Those need to be a little bit more bright with perhaps a little more glow.
We got a trail brake very deep into turn 11.
Especially here at night, so that they are quite visible.
After passing the apex, because the exit is so wide.
In fact, the LEDs showing there on the steering wheel, those are not very...
Totally messed up 13.
Those are not done very well either. Most indicator LEDs have a very bright glow to them, and that helps to make them much more noticeable, but on the steering wheel and on the dash, they're not very bright at all. So perhaps a little bit more work in the modeling here of the Puegeot 9x8 or 9X8.
So I'm still hitting 152s.
Now the 152s are actually a very good lap, but there is certainly a lot of room for improvement. Right now we are trying to work with a car under race conditions, so the track is continuously changing. Our tires are continuously degrading. The weight of the vehicle keeps changing as we are burning more fuel. And so we have to take all of those things into account.
Into the wall.
First place indicated there on the side of the number 93, leading this race here at Bahrain very comfortably. Right now, 1 minute and 52 seconds ahead of Neil Johnny in the number 99 Porsche. 153, just another second or so to Kevin Estra and then number 6 Penske Porsche. Further back is the number 50 Ferrari of Puegeot, a Cadillac, an Alpine, a BMW, And then the yellow Ferrari of Robert Kubica that we passed just a few laps ago.
Line 154.58.
Couple of laps left.
So we've been able to do about 28 laps here on every stint so far, and again this is the 5th one. Right now our fuel indicator on the lower right of the screen there is showing that we have just 5.1 laps, 5 laps now of fuel, 3.2 laps of virtual energy. And virtual energy is going to be the determining factor, as we don't want that to go to 0. We've actually taken it down to 1%, or perhaps a fraction of a percent, but never down to 0. If you should reach 0% in virtual energy, there is a 100-second stop and go penalty in which you cannot recharge, you cannot refuel, and you cannot make any changes or repairs on the car. So if your fuel and your virtual energy are very low and marginal, it's very possible that you may have to come in and pay that stop and go, and then go back around and do another lap with very low fuel. At Le Mans, that was impossible, and that's how perhaps a lot of the cars fell out of the race, running out of fuel. Again, if you look at our Le Mans series, there are a lot of the hypercars that fell out of the race and retired right before the entrance into pit lane. And so we believe that was the result of low fuel. It is a long lap, longer than any racetrack in the circuit.
Lap 152.73.
So that lap, a 152.7, very satisfactory. Again, these laps are under race conditions. So again, we are dealing with worn tires, temperature changes, and traffic as we are about to come up onto some back markers. Coming in through 5 and 6. That's 5. That's 6. Here's 7 to the left. The Ferrari still into the wall. Many laps into the stint.
Oh,
A
big
little
mess up
jig
there.
there by the Lexus, and we are off of our braking zone and brake marker, and we slide all the way out to the left into turn 8. It does kill a lot of time and a lot of tire. But we are able to continue on. Again, only a couple of laps left in the stint, and we are running very good laps here in the number 93.
So these laps are slow, maybe 1 to 2 seconds. We are trying to conserve the tires a little bit. So
Very
we
wide
did
again.
very well on these tires this time around by reducing the pressure. There's still a lot of wear, down to 52% life. There is our call into the pits. We will be due to come in at the end of this lap.
Yes, and that indicator at the top of the windshield indicates that we are called in.
There is our virtual energy, 1.2 laps. So we weren't actually trying to conserve on this last stint. There's Neil Shoddy. He was in second place. Oh, he is in second place. And we're just about to lap him.
Yes, that is 2 and 3 just ahead of us, and we had been slowly catching up to them. They may have been slowing each other down by racing bumper to bumper. And they have been doing that for most of the stint. Now we are going to lose all this time once we come into the pits, which we are due to come in just after this lap. A Ferrari in the spin.
No need to pass these guys.
14 and 15 here, and we are going to get into pit lane. There is our pit speed limiter. The headlights turn green here in the number 93.
Very good stints, made up a lot of time. I think at the beginning when everybody had trouble with their cold tires, we made up a lot of time on the other cars. Who is this? I believe that's one of the Cadillacs. Yes, it is.
And that is going to do it for this fifth stint here at the 8 Hours of Bahrain. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.